Hi and welcome to episode 2 of Mother to Daughter. Today we're going to be making blueberry muffins. Blueberry muffins, these are the kinds that my mom used to make all the time when I was a kid, and I could smell them when I was in bed on the weekends, and it was delicious. And I've never made them, and I thought it would be a great thing to learn how to make for, I don't cook breakfast a lot, but for the weekends for my fiance, because I know he would enjoy eating them. So first thing we're going to do is cream together the butter and the sugar, and then we're going to add eggs. So we have half a cup of butter right here. It's at room temperature so that it's nice and soft instead of getting it straight from the fridge and microwaving it. And then we have 1 cup of sugar. And we have this, which if you don't, that's fine because this is fancy. But if you want to come and see it work, the butter's kind of stuck on the side, so let me get a spoon. Oh, never mind.
Hi, I'm Judy's mom, Susie, and I'm here to help out. We have some eggs, and when I was growing up, we would crack eggs on here, but you know what? When you do that, you can get shells inside of your egg, inside of your dish, so you don't want that. Always crack your egg here. And then you can just go like this. And notice I'm putting it in a bowl in advance. The reason for that is if I have a bad egg, oh my goodness, there's nothing like ruining your dish. Also, these eggs are at room temperature. When your eggs are at room temperature, you'll get more volume in what you're cooking, and that's always good too. So you do 1 egg at a time so it gets incorporated. I'm going to turn up the speed just a little bit more. And you'll notice it's kind of sticking to the side there, so we're going to take the spatula and just scrape it. Going to turn it off. You want to get to the bottom because often with a stand mixer, things on the bottom don't get scraped. So by doing that, you'll make sure everything gets incorporated, which makes for a much better dish. So here we go, turning it back on. Want it to get all mixed up, and while we do this, we're going to go on to the dry ingredients.
All right, so next we're going to do all of our dry ingredients while the butter and eggs and sugar are in there. What I have here is just a normal bowl, and then I have a sifter on top. And it's important to sift your dry ingredients, which I just actually found out about today, so that you don't get any clumps in your food when you're mixing it. If you mix by hand, which I normally do, you don't necessarily get everything. And then if someone takes a bite of a nice clumpy baking soda, that would be disgusting. That's not baking soda, that's actually baking powder. That was 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I have half a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. And when you're measuring flour, should I use this thing?
Not the pink thing, use the white thing, yes.
When you're measuring flour, you kind of want to just
Not do that.
All right, so apparently I was doing the flour wrong, so my mom is going to show you how to correctly measure it.
So come look over here, Judy, so that everybody can see. When you're measuring flour, you fluff it up and you get a whole bunch. Otherwise, you're going to compact it and you're going to get too much flour and it's going to taste dry or crumbly. So see how much I have here? Now I'm going to scoop it off. You can use a knife, you can use your finger, but this is really nice too. This is 1 cup, and we do it again with 2 cups.
So when I was measuring it, I shook the measuring cup, and that compacts it, which is what you don't want to do.
And then you sift. And for future, because I didn't get a chance to tell Judy in time, is you put everything in together and sift it together. You don't put 1 and sift, and 2 and sift, and 3 and sift. You put all of the dry ingredients and you sift.
So as you can see, sifting takes a little bit of time, and a lot of things come pre-sifted. I know I bake all the time and I never sift, but you can see here the clumps in there, and this, if you can see how neat that is, this really helps get that out. And back in the olden days, they sifted not just for this reason, but because there were a lot of bugs all around, and sifting helped get out the bugs, so you didn't eat that and get that extra protein in your blueberry muffins.
So at the very end, there's gonna be a little bit left. You can go like here. There was some salt in here. Salt is hard to get through, so we're just gonna make sure everything gets out. And now we're good to go. So, I ran out of milk, and we need a half a cup of milk. So when that happens to you, it's always good to have a backup plan. I have powdered milk, and powdered milk is great for baking. I'm going to make some milk, even though it doesn't taste good to drink, it tastes great in baked goods. So I'm going to put some in here. I'm going to add some water. And I'm going to mix it. And that's going to be part of what we add to the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. We've already got the butter mixture in there. This is going to be the next step that we're doing. We're going to add some vanilla as well. We need 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. There we go.
All right, so we have all of our ingredients here, and I'm going to try to, without spilling, add our dry ingredients, and we don't want to add them all at once, so I'm going to add about half of it, and we'll add about half of our milk and let that stir a little bit, and then we'll add more. And you can see I wore my my science shirt in honor of baking. You know, there's chemistry in baking, so that's why I did that.
The next step is to add some blueberries. Now, we have 2.5 cups of blueberries, but we're taking a half a cup and we're going to mash these. It's going to give the dough some extra flavor, and it's also going to give it a little more extra color, because this is an all-natural color, and you don't want to add food coloring to your food. And you should do this part by hand. You don't want to mush up the blueberries any more than we have to. And when I add the whole blueberries, I want those to stay completely whole, because there's nothing like having a blueberry burst in your mouth. Look at this. See that? What a pretty color.
So that was the half a cup of blueberries, and this is the 2 cups, and we're going to put all of these in here, and then we're going to fold it in. And folding is just a little bit different than stirring. Folding is just when you take it, and it's just like how it sounds, you fold. And I'm assuming, and my mom can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming we fold these in so that we don't break up the blueberries.
That's true.
Okay. So we have the oven preheating to 375 degrees, and I'm going to start scooping our mixture. The goal is to get the muffin cup, filled to about 2/3. Okay, I kind of feel like I'm filling them too much. But then you just have a nice muffin top, which is good on muffins and gross on people. Alright, so we're just finishing these with adding some all-natural sugar. And this is just sugar before it's processed. You can get this at Costco, probably Sam's Club, but don't quote me on that.
You can get it at any grocery store. It's sugar in the raw.
Okay. We took them out of the oven. They were in there for 25 minutes, and there's a couple different ways you can tell if they're done. If they're golden brown, that's a good indicator that they're done, but also you can press on them, and you want them to be springy and bounce back. If they sink in or you have some liquid on your finger, then they're not done. Also, you can use a cake tester. If you don't have this, which is just a skinny piece of metal, you can use toothpicks. And if they come out clean, and you always want to test more than one because different parts of your oven might cook differently. If it comes out clean like this is, then it is done. So we'll wait for these to cool, and then we'll try one. They look and smell delicious. They do make 24, so if you're cooking for 2 like I am, 9 times out of 10 you won't eat all 24, but they freeze really nicely. So you can always have them one weekend or during the week, freeze them, and it'll be a nice treat next time that you won't have to cook again for. So I'll try one just because I said I would, even though I don't like eating on camera. the sugar on top makes it have a nice crunch at the top. But really good. Thanks for watching. See you next time.